Good day once again, and for our next topic is just a continuation of the previous partitioning topic. But before we proceed to the additional information about partitioning, let's talk about first the file system hierarchy of Linux. So let's say in any Linux variant, there is somewhat this kind of a hierarchy, okay, a directory structure. These are often called mount points, and some of these mount points are being used each time a user creates directories, a user creates files. It can also be used during the boot up sequence of the system. Let's say, for example, in the directory slash bin, this is the binary directory. All the executables are stored in here, the commands, the applications, the equivalent of the .exe files in Windows are stored in this directory, the slash bin. Meanwhile, in the slash boot directory, this houses or this stores the files like the bootloader, which are required during runtime. So if ever there will be no slash boot directory, or the files inside the slash boot directory has been corrupted, deleted, then probably your Linux OS will not boot. The next mount point is the slash dev slash dev. This is where you can find the information of the devices that are present in your operating system, the Linux operating system. This is where the device files are kept. If you want to configure system files of the system, you can do it in slash etc. Let's say, for example, you installed an application. All the configuration files are stored in this directory. Most of the time, it's installed in this directory, not unless you specify a directory in which you will save the configuration files. But the default um, storage for all the configuration files are placed in the slash etc. And I think you're already familiar with this. This is slash home. This is the document directory of all normal users. So let's say you have created a user named user1 with the command sudo add user. It automatically creates a directory inside slash home in which the user1 can upload, create, edit, and delete its files or his files or their files. We also have a separate directory for the root user. Okay, the root user, or this is called the super user, the god of the operating of this particular Linux installation. You're already familiar with the slash mnt directory. This is the directory for manual mounting of partitions, manual mounting of devices that that the system administrator wants to access. Um, Slash sbin is a directory for storing only default system commands. We'll also deal with this directory in the later parts of the semester. The slash var. This is where varying file directory for storing regular updating files, especially the log files, in which we will deal with in the succeeding lectures. So as we'll know, Linux is case sensitive. Every time you Every time you create a file named, let's say for example, jb.text, okay, so if we will compare it, this one is different from this one, and that is case sensitive. The content, let's say, if we will view the content of the small letter JB, this is the content, these are the content. If we view the content of the capital J and small b file, this is the content. Okay, so once again, case sensitivity in Linux, backslash and forward slash. In Linux, we will deal with forward slash. Okay, let's say if we want to go to this directory, that is how you do it. We cannot do this one. Okay, this command will produce an error. The backslash is only applicable for Windows. Okay, so in Linux it is forward slash, and there are no drive letters in Linux. In Windows, you can, in a command prompt, you can do like this. Let's say, for example, E. That is not applicable in Linux. Okay, so what Linux does is its directory structure. Okay, you need to go to a certain directory using the forward slash in order for you to go to another directory. This, for example. Okay, so now let's proceed to the continuation of the partitioning. So I think you have noticed that every time you add partitions in Linux, it will not be automatically accessible. Okay, so in comparison to Windows, once you format, let's say for example, a flash drive, after you format it, you can easily copy files, write files, delete files after the completion of formatting. Plug the flash drive, copy files, and plug it. That's it. In Linux, we need to manually mount it, or we have another option in which we mount the partition upon the first boot, or upon the boot up of the operating system. So that is what you call an auto mounting. Okay, so here in my Linux installation, if I issue df command, you can see that there is no, how to mute this. Mute. Okay, it's muted already. If I will issue again the df command, you can see that there are no partitions mounted in this Linux operating system. Okay, so let me create first a mounting point. Let's say create a directory 21, oops, and 22. If I will do sudo fdisk -l, I have a 30 gig hard drive, a secondary hard drive added to my Linux system. So let's say I want to partition my 30 gig hard drive or secondary hard drive into one partition only. So this is partitioned already. Let's do it from the beginning so that you not be confused. Just delete the partition and then I'm going to write it. Okay, so if I will do, there is no partitions present in the secondary hard drive, and I will create a new partition and then I will allocate all the free space to 30 gig. And then if I will print, okay, so this 30 gig hard drive has been partitioned only for one partition and it has 30 gig. I'm now going to write this one and then I'll do the command sudo part probe slash the stp, and then I'm going to format this partition into the ext4 file system. Okay, if disk -l slash dev stp, I have one partition for the secondary hard drive, one partition for the secondary hard drive. We also have created mounting points directory or directory 21 and 22. Now let's mount the first directory. I mean the partition into this directory 21. If I do df, it's already mounted. Okay, you can go to this one and then there you can create a file. Okay, there's a file called 21.txt. You can edit this anything you want, anything that you want. Okay, what if I want to reboot this? I'm rebooting the system. While waiting for the reboot. Okay, the system is already rebooted, and let me just log in and we will do df. Oh, where is the partition that we just mounted a while ago? It's already gone. Okay, so that is what will happen if you reboot a system and you only mounted it, manually mounted it, like doing sudo mount then /dev then /mnt /21. Upon reboot, it will be automatically be deleted from the mounting points. So there's a way to do that, and that is what you called auto mounting. Okay, so let's just open this file, sudo pico /etc fs tab, and then let's add this particular file. So I'll place in here a comment preceded by the hashtag, let's say auto mount for the second hard drive. So this is optional, and this will not be read by the system because it has a hashtag. This is a comment only. So we're going to add these lines of text sdb1. This is our secondary hard drive first partition. And then our mounting point, our mounting directory, our file system, some options. Let's say let's do the defaults. Then we'll add 0 and 0. We'll save the file. We can do this command, sudo mount -a. So the purpose of this command is it will mount all entries present in the fs tab file. Okay, so once again, the sudo mount -a command will mount all options lines available inside the fs tab file. Let's say you forgot the options in the command mount. Okay, what was that command? -b -c. Okay, so you can verify your command if it is correct by using man mount. Okay, this is the manual for the mount command. If we will go, oh, it's there on top. So here's the command mount -a. All the files in all the lines in the fs tab will be mounted. So this is the manual for the mount command. Let's say you forgot how to list all the ls options. You can do man ls. Okay, so man is your guide, man is your help, man is your old school chat gpt, but not in question, not using questioning. So to go back, sudo mount -a. Now let's just verify first if there are no mounted points, there are no mounted directories. If we will do this command, sudo mount -a, we can see that ss/mnt/21 has been mounted. Okay, if we will go to that directory, we can see the files, we can see the directories that are present in it. Okay, so let's do this one. Sudo umount and then /mnt/21. So what this command will does, oh, this command will unmount the mounting point that you specified. Mounting point, mounting directory that you specified. To verify if it is already unmounted, there is no /mnt/21. But if we will go to this file, we can still see that there is still a line of code or an entry in our fs tab file. So if I will reboot again my Linux operating system, Will the slash mnt slash 21 be auto mounted? Let's wait and see and check if I am not lying to you or not. Okay, so this is, let me just log in. We'll do df. Here we go. Slash sdb1 is mounted to slash 21 already. Okay, so if I will go to slash mnt slash 21, I can see the file already. I did not do this command sudo mount slash dev sdb1 slash mnt slash 21 because it was done automatically upon boot up. Okay, it was enabled, the auto mounting was enabled through the line from the fs tab file. Okay, so let's say we'll do this. Sudo umount slash mnt slash 21. Okay, and then we will mount -a to auto mount all the entries in the fs tab file. We'll go to 21. And then here's the content. We will copy an executable file from this directory /bin, and the executable file is called ls. Okay, and then we will copy it to /mnt/21. If we will do ls, there are 3 files now: 21 the text, lost plus found, and the executable like exe if it's equivalent in Windows dot ls. Okay, so this is an executable file, and one way to execute an executable file in Linux is doing this command / and then ls. Oh, why is it permission denied? Why is it permission denied? Because in our fs tab file we indicated in the options that this mounting point, this partition, cannot execute executable files. Okay, so once again, why is it permission denied when we try to execute the the ls command, which is located in /mnt21? It's due to this file, this option inside the file fs tab, wherein the option for this partition is no exec. Okay, all executable files are not executable in the /mnt/21 folder. Okay, so /mnt/21. What if we do this one? We save, and then we mount. It's already mounted. In my home directory, I have this file jb.txt. I will copy this to /mnt/21. Cannot create regular file 21 jb.txt because the file system of this partition is only, read only. Okay, so you cannot copy, you cannot delete, you cannot write on this directory. Okay, let's say we will create a file sudo pico, let's say 21.11.11.txt. Okay, on the onset it will already give you a warning, directory dot is not writable. Never mind, it can be writable. Just save the file. Let's do control X. We will save, and then we'll save the same file name, read only file system. We cannot write at all in this directory because it has the read only file system which you have set in the fs tab file. Okay, so in Linux as well as in Windows, you have applications, you have programs in which you can check your hard disk for inconsistencies, bad blocks, problematic areas. In Linux also, there is an application which is the same as that. It's what application is called FSCK. So let's say if you want to check your SDB1 is still has no bad sectors, still working properly, you can do this command fsck ext4 and then the name of the partition. Okay, you cannot continue because SDB1 is still mounted, so let's unmount it. I mean 21. So after a couple of seconds, it will say that this application check the /sdeb/db1 and it is clean, in which there are 13 files and this 60, 167, 487 blocks. Okay, so this will verify if your file system, your partition is clean from bad elements. One other option is to include the fsck utility, the check this utility, during boot up. How to do it? You just place 1 instead of 0 after on the yellow 0, so that every time the system will reboot, it will automatically check this particular partition. Okay, so in the long run, you don't need to do this anymore because FSCK, the disk checking, will be checked upon boot up prompt. Okay, so how to do it? Once again, you just need to change the yellow 0 into 1 so that it will be automatically checked upon boot up of the Linux system. Okay, so that's all for this video, And I hope you learned something new. And for questions, queries, and problems, just feel free to message me in any form of messaging option. Thank you and good day.